The Idaho Food Bank says many Idahoans are facing food insecurity right now because of the coronavirus, and many of them are facing it for the first time. Here in the Magic Valley, an organization called Idaho Hunters Feeding the Hungry is teaming up with Fish and Game and local food pantries to help fight elk depredation and food insecurity.
We have more elk than we've ever had.
Fish and Game has been working for several years to fight elk depredation in the Little Camas area. Last year, as part of a study to reduce crop damage caused by the elk, Fish and Game killed around 200 elk. The project received huge backlash on the internet after a post by Idaho for Wildlife showed photos of the butchered elk and claimed the meat rotted in the summer heat.
Couldn't be further from the truth.
Fish and Game says the elk were field dressed and put into a refrigerated truck. From there, their partners at Idaho Hunters Feeding the Hungry got to work.
Idaho Hunters Feeding the Hungry is a nonprofit organization that pays for the processing of wild game to be donated to local pantries throughout the state of Idaho.
The group was able to locally process and distribute the meat to 9 food banks around the Magic Valley region. They estimate the meat from the elk depredation study is enough to feed tens of thousands of hungry Idahoans.
20,000 pounds of meat and then a quarter pound of protein for a meal produces 80,000 meals.
All that meat is now feeding those who need it most.
We had a good supply that we were able to give out in just since March that is so needed by so many people. And then especially at this time with this coronavirus issue, it reaches more people and people that are really in need for this good quality food too.
Fish and Game says they plan to continue working to reduce elk population in that area this summer. And ideally they would do that by working with hunters and landowners, working to provide access for those hunters on private land so that they can get the elk themselves. But if Fish and Game has to resort to shooting the elk themselves, they say they'll continue working with Idaho Hunters Feeding the Hungry to make sure that meat doesn't go to waste. If you'd like to learn more about the program, you can always head to our website. Just head to ksawtv.com. In Twin Falls, Natasha Williams, Idaho News 6.